at the Garden tonight. Pacers-Knicks, let's pop the top on this already. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Madison Square Garden, and this would be an epic. Due to time constraints, we move forward in the programming to the fourth. Knicks up 3. TJ McConnell, dribble drive. And Jalen Brunson fouls McConnell. That's his 5th foul with 10 minutes left in the game.
He threw the net.
There's the yellow sneaker on the line. Shades of Kevin Durant a few years ago in the playoffs, so we've got overtime instead of a Pacers win. Overtime was pretty good as well. Knicks up 1. Haliburton jackknifes, takes contact, and gets it to crawl over the front of the rim. And then he pulls up from deep. Obi Toppin, the former Knick, cleans up. Pacers back up by 1. The Knicks come back. Brunson loses it. Still Knicks ball. Brunson the last one to touch it. Look at it again. No, it's now Pacers basketball. Reversed on replay. And then the former Knick Toppin back at the Garden, haunting his old team with the crunch. Pacers go up by 3. 12 seconds left. Knicks need a bucket. Preferably a triple. Brunson, step back, launches, nothing. But the Knicks get it back. Karl Anthony Towns barely grazes the front of the rim. Then there's a scramble. Ball's loose. What's happening? Off the Knicks, Pacers ball with a fraction of time left. The Pacers with a miraculous Game 1 win in overtime. 138-135, the final.
Pacers are down 14. Raise your hand if you thought this game was over.
I'll raise 2.
I'm going to say David's hand is up, but we can't actually confirm that. Yeah. The point is the Pacers not only came back to force overtime, they came back and won this game. How do you describe what we saw?
For me, that might be the greatest comeback I've seen in an NBA playoff game. I don't think that's overstating it because of the circumstances. And not only were they down 14, under 3 minutes to go, the Knicks really had taken control of the game with their defense when Jalen Brunson went out of the game with his 5th foul. So what happens? Somebody's going to have to get hot. And Aaron Nesmith shot 43% from the three-point line, so he's certainly a capable three-point shooter. That doesn't begin to describe what he did in the fourth quarter of this game. Repeatedly just hunting shots. First couple, he was open, and now the Knicks, you can see that hard closeout by Hart. He falls. They're doing everything they can to keep the ball out of his hands, but he still was getting loose. So he single-handedly cut into that deficit, and then you eventually set up this possession at the end of the game for Tyrese Haliburton. Great awareness on his part.
Okay, so you can't get to overtime unless Haliburton actually makes that shot. What did you see? As everything is unfolding, what are you seeing? Well,
he clearly thought they're going to get extended on him. It's in a 2-point game, and that's what he got. So he beats his first man off the dribble. You see the backline defenders step up, Robinson. So now Haliburton was going to shoot a floater, he said, but he lost control of the ball. He looked up at the clock and realized he had enough time to get out. He wanted to shoot a 3, didn't quite get there, ends up with his foot on the line. But he had enough awareness to know that's where he had to go in the moment to get enough space to get a shot off. They think they win it here, obviously. He makes the choke sign with Reggie Miller in the house. I mean, that would have been an all-time iconic moment. Great poise, great patience. And I want to make one point. None of that's possible, by the way, without Rick Carlisle holding on to his challenge the entire game. And most coaches, you're tempted by your players. This happens 20 times a game. Your players are doing this. A lot of coaches just look at the second row. All right, let's take the timeout and challenge. And the reason I bring it up, 29 seconds to go, 5-point game. There is a play at the rim where Siakam is called for a foul on Anunoby trying to get a putback. They call foul on Siakam. Without the challenge, that's 2 free throws. The game is going to be over. It'll be up 7, 29 seconds to go. Instead, they win the challenge, hit a 3. It's a 2-point game, and then they extended it with some missed free throws out of the Knicks, and of course, the late game heroic. He held on to it, and it really, to me, changed the tide in the game.
Because when your players are doing like this, it's like when your kids are going, Mom, Mom, Mom. Finally, you're like, what? What do you want?
That's right.
Look, the Knicks, they let this one get away. Yes. They had it. Now they got to bounce back. How do they do that?
This is a massive gut punch because you really think on a night in which Indiana jumped them early, it could not have played a better offensive first quarter, but you look up at the end of the quarter, you're up 2 somehow because the Knicks were that good early. Second quarter, kind of a shootout. Third quarter, the Knicks started to take control of the game toward the end of the third quarter. You feel like you've done everything. You just survived a run with Jalen Brunson on the bench with 5 fouls in which you outscored them 14-0. And I think what it does is gives the Pacers the belief any circumstances they face now in this series, they're never out of the game, and there's going to be constant doubt on the part of the Knicks if they get another lead in the second half. There's no doubt this could be the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about when this series is over if Indiana wins it.
It's the kind of thing that eats at you. Speaking of doubt, we're going to look ahead to Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Why this man...
Joe, this game was unbelievable. I down 14. I mean, I think they were down as many as 10 with like two minutes to go. I was like, well, hey, let me go and change out of my workout little stuff and get ready to go down there and do nightcap. And I come back downstairs, and it's 123 to 121. Yeah. And Cat's at the free throw line. Yeah. I'm like, okay, Cat make both of these. They got an uphill climb. He missed one. Uh-oh. Now we're going to play a free throw game. Mm-hmm. We're going to play a free throw game, Joe. That's what we about to do. Yeah. Hey, I ain't going to try to get it all back in one shot. I'm going to see how y'all handle pressure. And, boy, this was an unbelievable ball game. Pascal Siakam, 17 points. Aaron Nesmith, 30 points. Miles Turner, 14 points. Nembhard, 15 points. Tyrese Haliburton was sensational tonight. 31 points, 11 assists. They won this game because they took care of the basketball.
Yep.
They had 7 turnovers in an overtime game total. So 4 quarters of basketball plus 5 minutes of overtime, they had 7 turnovers. Jalen Brunson alone had 7 turnovers, and that was the difference in the ball game. They've got to do a better job of making those free throws also. They was 28 of 40. So in other words, they got to the line 40 times, and they only cashed 28 times. Joe, you watched this game, and I know, look, and I'm like, damn, y'all got to stop something, Indiana, because I thought I was going to be able to have to come on the show, Joe, and say.
I thought the Pacers have done what they've done pretty much this entire postseason. When they've been counted out, you know, they got guys who step up, still playing desperation basketball down the stretch. I think Naismith was the player of the game to me, man. The way,
I do too.
The way they were down, he was still playing hard, fierce, and he shot 8 for 9 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
4 from the free throw line.
Yeah, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 8 for 9 from 3. I'm not sure you're going to count on that every night, but tonight he was special, and he gave them that lift that they needed. But they got contributions from some of everybody. Look at their bench. T.J. McConnell come in, and you don't get no drop-off. Like, he's not going to hurt you. He's going to help you in every facet of the game. And I thought, man, they were just relentless down the stretch. Even to start the game, I thought they came out ready to play. They pick. I didn't know if we was watching the NBA or the NCAA, the way them dudes picking up full court. They picking up full court the entire game. And I guess their whole idea is to wear Brunson down, to wear the Knicks down, because you know they're only going to play about 7 guys. And Indiana throwing about 8, 9 dudes at you who are all dogs, and they coming in, they getting all the scraps. It was a beautiful game tonight. Man, I know everybody in New York is pissed.
They sick. They sick. I hadn't seen the Knicks fans this sick maybe since Ice Tray did what he did.
Yeah, it got quiet in there tonight, man. It got quiet in there. When
you could hear rat peeing on cotton.
Hello,
I'm talking about the bell of it. That's how quiet it was, Joe. I was like, good God about it.
Hey, and then when Haliburton hit the ridge of the choke joint at the end, and he was still on the line, I said, oh yeah, he know he got to come out and play hard now. He done had a little early celebration.
Yeah, he had. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, they got this one. And I came here, I'm celebrating Ash like and Ash and Shelley like it was a 2-point. I say 2. No, he's behind the line. They said no, his foot was on. I said, this man don't pull the KD on us.
Hey, but look how they gained their composure in that overtime and still came out and put their mark on the game, bro. Hey, look, we might look up Uncle. This Indiana team could be in the finals. This is what I was talking about. Because they're so unpredictable, because they got guys like Naismith, who you may not count on to give you 30 every night, but he won you a game tonight. So the next night, it may be somebody else. It could be Pascal Siakam. You know what I mean? It could be somebody else. So they got a multitude of cats who are willing to step up, who take that challenge, and they competing at the highest level. I thought the Knicks played great. You know, Brunson and
you got 15 of 25 from Brunson, 43 points. You got 11 of 17 from Cat, 35 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, come on now. You got 16 from OG. You got 8. You got 16 from Mikal Bridges. You got 8, 13, and 7 with a steal Josh Hart. I mean, well, damn.
They played
yes.
win. They played well enough to win. They had the game in their hands, but it seemed like late down the stretch, they was having these mental lapses where they were almost turning the ball over, but they kept getting away. I'm like, hold on, Indiana gonna make them pay for this, and they just kept throwing these little lackadaisical passes and end up getting these turnovers. Man, Indiana is relentless, bro. They are a blue collar team, and they ready. They ready for the moment.
And we've seen this from them in 3 games down the stretch against Cleveland. They find ways, just like we saw the Knicks do this down the stretch against Detroit. We saw them do this down the stretch against Boston. In clutch moments, they find ways to win. They make the right pass. They hit the big shot. They do everything right. They get steals. They play passing lanes. I mean, look, both teams. I was like, Jalen Brunson was 15 of 25. Cat was 11 of 17. But Knicks, this is what y'all known for. Y'all known for defense. Y'all let Tyrese Haliburton go 12 of 23. Y'all let Nembhard go 6 of 10. Y'all let Miles Turner go 6 of 11. Aaron Naismith missed 4 shots. He was 9 of 13, 8 of 9 from the 3. The only guy that really shot less than 50% that played heavy minutes was really Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
7 of 16. Other than that, they shot 51% from the floor. Now, this is what, look, we know Indiana can play defense, and they played it really good down the stretch. But they're a team that want to get it out the net or get it off the rim, but they want to push. They'll give you a basket to get a quicker basket.
Because they want the tempo.
They want tempo. They know, ooh, this is easy. This is easy. And the next thing you know, you in a track meet and they Usain Bolt and you not.
Yeah, because they're gonna give you some easy with some good looks that's gonna seduce you into playing that style of play. And next thing you know, look, we got a 138, 135 point game. This is what the Pacers want. They don't think you can at this pace.
Knicks, this is not the pace the Knicks want to play at or need to play at. Look, you got to slow this tempo down. I mean, and you got 69 points at the half. That's right up the Pacers' alley. They want a 65, 75 halftime pace.
It was right.
They want to get up and down.
Yeah.
And when you play that style, you need to be very, very careful because I don't know if that's what you're equipped to do. And look, Cat played phenomenal tonight. I thought Brunson played phenomenal. I mean, both teams played really well tonight. Now, they called some ticky-tack stuff early, but late in the ball game, they did not want the Knicks to lose.
Nah.
That was an and one on topping.
It was.
Mikal Bridges hit him. He got him in the chest, and he hit him on the arm and on the shoulder.
Definitely.
And they didn't call it. That was an and one. That should have been a chance for him to go to the line and have a 4-point lead.
I agree.
On the rebound, they damn Mikal Bridges pulled the man down again. He was like, damn, you pulled the man pants down. And they're like, hey, Mitchell Irvin, that's my guy, Mitch. Hey, they're like, play on. I was like, well, damn, y'all ain't gonna call no foul?
Right. Hey, this playoff basketball. Hey, another thing I will say, because Indiana's so deep, and remember, I've always talked about they got at least 6 guys who average double figures in the playoffs.
Yep.
This doesn't surprise me that Naismith had a game like this. What I was really concerned about the Knicks was down the stretch. You see how them shots kept coming up short?
Yeah, their legs gone.
Yeah, them legs gone because you done played at this tempo that you ain't necessarily accustomed to playing at every night. In Indiana, this is what they do because they don't really have guys who playing 45, 42 minutes a night.
Mm-mm.
So this was an up and down game, and you know, in favor of the Pacers. And wow, it didn't disappoint, man. When he hit that shot, I was like, oh my God.
But I said, I was like, man, hey, when it hit and went straight up in there, I said, watch this thing go in. I was like, yeah, Joe, I said, watch this thing go. I told Shelly, I said, Shelly, watch this go in. And she started screaming because I was like, oh my goodness. There's a difference. Walking on the treadmill for 45 minutes versus jogging or sprinting on the treadmill for 45 minutes. And you see, the Pacers are used to sprinting on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So you sprint for 45 versus a team that, I exercise, I get my exercise in, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I tell people, like, look, you can do lift weights and then you can do cardio. But when you combine the two, that's when you can see somebody cardio capacity.
Yeah. Because
I'm forcing you to use your strength, your muscles, and the other muscle, that heart.
Yeah.
So if you notice, sometimes you get guys that are really strong, and you can find someone that's really good at cardio. But when I combine the two, now like, oh damn.
Yeah.
And that's what the Pacers want you to do. They want you to get up and down. They want you to try to say, oh man, we about to get 130. We about to get 140.
Hey man.
We've seen the Knicks, we've seen the Pacers a couple of times this year get 140, get 150 points in regulation. You got to be careful playing at their tempo, playing at their pace. I thought this game, look, if I tell you what, if somebody told you, if you're a Knicks fan, and somebody say, hey, Brunson's going to shoot 25 times, he's going to make 15 of them, he's going to have 43 points. Cat's going to have 35 and 12. You're like, well, we won the game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We won the game.
Absolutely.
That's what you think. If you're two big guns and they fire and they go off and they're efficient while they're doing it. Now, if Brunson had 43 points and it took him 32 shots to get it, I ain't impressed with that. If Cat had 35 and it took him 25 shots to get it, I ain't impressed with that. It took Cat 17 shots to get 35 points. It took Brunson 25 shots to get 43. They shot 51% from the floor, but they gave up 51% from the floor.
Yeah,
they gave up 41% from the three-point line. Well, you ask, and you didn't turn them over like you did Boston. You didn't turn them over like you did Detroit. Now, they got really good ball handlers. Haliburton's going to have the ball in his hand, and he's not a turnover guy.
Nope.
McConnell comes in, he's not a turnover guy. The thing I like about McConnell, he knows who and what he is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Tyrese Haliburton. I'm not Shai Gilgeous. I'm not Luka. I'm not one of these guys. Hey, I don't need to be fancy all this between my legs and behind my back and herky-jerky stuff. This is who I am.
I'm effective, though. I'm going to get it done. I'm effective, and I'm going to get it done. And I promise you, wherever we at, I'm going to take us to another level. We ain't going to never drop off. That's why I love T.J. McConnell and, his presence that he brings on the court. It ain't the prettiest, but I promise you, as a backup PG, I don't know if we can get too much better than him.
Yep.
He comes in with it on his mind, man. He's aggressive offensively, and defensively, he's a pest.
Yes.
Yes, he moves them puppies well.
Just like Peyton Pritchard for the Celtics.
It's like Peyton Pritchard, but not even just him. Even these other guys, the Obi Toppins, the Matherins, when they come
Obi was great tonight.
They all are defensive-minded. And then offensively, it kind of fuels their offense to where they're able to get steals, get in the passing lanes, get fast break points, and then it kind of get them going. Man, I thought Indiana was special tonight. In that atmosphere, can you imagine what it's like playing in there on a away team? Like, them dudes came in, man, and I'm talking about from the start of the game. I felt they imposed their will, and they never gave up. Even when they were down 14 points, they were still fighting. They were still
under 3 minutes. Points off turnovers in game one. The Pacers forced 15 turnovers. They got 27 points. The Knicks forced 7 turnovers. They got 4 points. The Knicks had a 99.7% chance of winning the game with 2 minutes and 51 seconds. They're up 14. Teams up 14 plus in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds in a playoff fourth quarter game or overtime in the play-by-play era. 977 and 1. Wow. The one you just witnessed it tonight if you watch this game. In the play-by-play era, I think the play-by-play goes back 1996-97, correct? I think that's when they started the play-by-play. You're talking about 977 and 1.
Hey, in that span.
1996, okay.
In that span, them last 3 minutes of the game, how many threes? And they
seemed like forever, seemed like 3 hours.
Oh, man. Look, they kept getting 3. They get a stop. Like, it was just, they kept trail. I was like, man, they not going to come back. And I'll be dang.
This was an amazing game, and hopefully we can get 6 more. Ocho, I don't know. I know you was having technical difficulties trying to get logged on, but the Pacers come back 138-135, down 14 points with 2 minutes and under 3 minutes left in the ball game. Yes, and you heard me read off the stat. They had a 99.7% chance of winning. In the play-by-play era, which started in 1996, teams are 977-0 until tonight. When you're up by that many points, with that few time on the clock, and the Knicks gave it away. Give them credit. They passing lane. They were getting deflections. They almost got it earlier.
Yeah.
Nembhard almost got one. Got another one.
Yeah.
But this game was sensational tonight. Aaron Nesmith, 30 points, 9 of 13, 8 of 9 from the 3-point line. He scored 20 big points in the fourth. Aaron Nesmith this playoff, he's 35 made threes? He had 35 made threes. He's third in the NBA, 54% from 3-point line.
Must be his contract year.
Go ahead,
Uncle
Joe. Listen, this is what I call playoff basketball. Now, I've watched some basketball over the years, so I've never seen a game like tonight. I've never seen a game like tonight. When your two big guns are on fire and they hitting on all cylinders like Cat and Brunson were, you expect them to win a game like this. When you're up by that amount of points, with that little time left to go in the game, you're not expecting the other team to come back and win, regardless of circumstance or any hypothetical you come up with. But what we saw tonight, it seemed unreal. It was like something out of a movie. This is how movie story endings happen. They happen like what we saw tonight. This is a great game. You said it too. The Knicks won't be able to keep up with that offensive pace. I think they need to play at their own pace and not play the way the Blazers play. Used to running up and down the floor, back and forth.
Right.
But goddamn, man, tonight was a beautiful game. Now, if we get 6 more games like this might be the best 7-game series of all time. If the game end like this in this manner.
Oh, you think it's going 7?
No, I'm just throwing it out there. But
you just like the game today, the first game. It was pretty good.
What scares me also is I think, just like the Wolves game, it was very important to win game 1. It was very, very important for the Knicks to win game 1, especially at home. You got to steal that game.
Man. Hey, Ocho.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Well, Ocho was saying that he don't know if the Knicks can keep up with this pace. They should play their pace. They can't, because you know why? The Pacers applying so much pressure that they are forcing the Knicks to speed up. Meaning, if I'm guarding you full court, at some point you might get a step on me, so you figure you may have to go and take what you can get. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they induce the Knicks to play in this pace, and it works in their favor, because down the stretch, look what you had. You got a lot of sloppy basketball from the Knicks, a lot of turnovers, a lot of mishaps, and ultimately it cost you the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I did not think, but you know what happens, Joe? A lot of times when you down by so many points, and all of a sudden you make a comeback, you start to feel like, oh, we're going to get this one.
Yeah.
You start to feel that you're going to win. The other team starts to feel like we're about to lose because they see 14, 11, 9, 8, 7. Oh, damn. Hold on. What happened? What happened to that lead? And everybody, all the fans like, damn, come on, clock. Tick, tick, tick. The clock can't go fast enough.
Hey, Uncle Joe, but honestly, you said with the Pacers doing what they do as far as forcing the Knicks to play outside of their comfort zone, you got to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable. You got to continue to play the Knicks pace, because if you're trying to keep up and do just because they putting pressure on you, and it's causing you to have turnovers that makes ill-advised passes or having mistakes, that's the reason you're losing the game. So listen, I don't know how you're able to do it, Joe, especially from a basketball standpoint. Say, when I think about boxing, and there's a pressure fighter and trying to force you to fight, but you do everything you can in your will to stay relaxed, to stay calm under pressure, and continue to do your game, or whatever your game plan may be. The Knicks going to have to find a way, regardless of the pressure that Indiana is applying, to stay within their game, because that's not the way you guys play basketball. It's just not.
But here's the thing, though, Ocho. The bully keeps coming up, hitting you side your head, and you say, nah, just don't worry about it. That is not what you do. At some point in time, you got to fight back. So what happens is that they're playing at this frenetic pace, and you like, hey, man, I got me a couple of easy baskets, too. Hey, look at it. Hey, I'm at the rim. Boom. I got me a couple of easy ones. You like, okay, this is easy right here. This is easy. And the next thing you know, you've gotten yourself into something that you really didn't want to get into. It's kind of like, Ocho, you got a 1-point lead. Now, what you should do is go down at the 1-yard line. But what did the guy want to do? He want to celebrate. So he going in the end zone. Next thing you know, they get a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion. They get the ball in overtime first, and now you like, damn, what happened? Well, what happened? You did what you weren't supposed to do. And it's a lot easier, and I understand it's a lot easier said than done because, like you said, but I'm looking at the Knicks. Even at that frenetic pace, Joe, I got a 14-point lead with under 3 minutes to go, and I got Mikal Bridges, and I got OG Anunoby, and I got Josh Hart. That should be those three players with Jalen Brunson and Cat should be enough to hold that because they were enough to get that. So if they're good enough to get it, they should be good enough.
Let me ask you a question. You read off that percentage again? When you're up by that many points with that little time left to go, what is the percentage again with your chance to win that game?
The Knicks had a 99.7% chance to win when they led by 14 with 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
You know what?
Teams up by 14 plus in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of a playoff fourth quarter or overtime in the play-by-play era. Prior to tonight, they had been 977-0. After tonight, they're 977-1. That won the Knicks.
You know what? Tonight, honestly, it's probably a little too late depending on where you live or where you are. I think we all need to play the lotto. We all need to play the lotto.
Dan, listen, I pick Indiana to go to the finals. My thing is, okay, man, come on, stop playing. You know, we got that little bet we got. Come on, don't act like that. Okay, Ocho.
You got a little. Y'all got it. You got a little double or nothing on it, Joe.
Yeah, so listen. With Brunson and Cat playing as efficient as they played today, and they end up still losing the game. I mean,
it's like Ocho. It's like you go for 175. TJ get a 115. Carson throw for 375. You get a running back one for 100. And you lost the game by 4.
You know what that's like?
Yeah. You're like, how much better? You saw your Bengals do this all the time. Chase, Higgins, go off. Yo, throw it for 400.
Yeah.
And you're like, how we lose?
And
how?
My thing is, what if they not efficient like this in the next game? I know Nate Smith may not go 8 for 9 from 3, but they're gonna have other guys who gonna step up and gonna play big, and you can count on that. If Brunson and Cat don't play like this, they won't be in no games, bro.
Yeah.
They won't even be in no games.
What I love is Haliburton was efficient, was aggressive.
Yeah.
23 shot attempts.
Yeah.
12 3-point attempts. They get into trouble when he's on 5. He got 5 attempts. He got 8 attempts. No, bro. Not now. Not now. We need you aggressive. We need you pushing pace. Try to get downhill. If you can get all the way down to the rim, get all the way down to the rim. And if they come to collapse, hey, you got great basketball IQ. Kick it out. Damn, Ocho, let me ask you a question. What you got them get you sick? Luxury, did they get you sick? Did they get you sick last night?
No. The missus got me sick.
Hold on. Okay, Ocho, I was paying attention the other night, and I seen Ocho was at a little spot. He said they were ballet dancers. He had some ballet dancers.
Yeah, he's adult ballet. Adult ballet.
What kind of ballet they do, Ocho?
Adult ballet. You know, adult ballet.
Like Gregory Hines, like Baryshnikov ballet.
Yeah, basically that. But it's more exotic. It's more on the luxurious side of ballet. It's still very graceful, but it's just different types of movement. You know,
just for the grown and sexy.
Exactly, Joe. So, Joe, I got to take you out there. I just got me a job. I'm the head security out there, and I just applied for the head chef job at that Area 29. You know, because I can cook. You know, I went to
No, you don't need to cook.
Hey, hold on. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. I didn't finish. I did 2 semesters, but I had to go back and take care of some business. But
that's like saying I went to 2 semesters of law school at Harvard. You not no lawyer.
Nah, listen, you're not a lawyer, but the LAW is there. So law, you just ain't got the YER yet.
Yeah. Lawless.
Yeah, Joe. Hey, Joe, it's beautiful, beautiful establishment, Joe. Area 29, you got to check it out.
I ain't never heard of nothing
Yeah,
like adult
matter of fact,
battle.
you know who's you know whose spot that is? Earl
Who?
Thomas. That's
Is
right,
it?
Area 29. Yeah, that's where the 29.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Tyrese Haliburton, game 1, 30 points, 11 assists, 1 turnover. He's one of 5 players with a 30-10 a game this playoffs. Jalen Brunson, 43 points, 5 assists on 15 of 25 field goal attempts. He's the first Knick ever with a 40-point game in the conference finals. I don't know how much better he can play. Maybe he says, you know what? Maybe if I cut my turnovers in half. Give you what I gave you tonight offensively, but cut the turnovers. He had as many turnovers by himself as the entire Pacer team.
Man, and look,
Turn the ball over, it leads to run out, it leads to easy baskets, and you try to make it as difficult as you possibly can on the opposing team. Nothing easy. In football terms, Joe, we say nothing cheap, nothing deep.
right. Look, I think with Brunson, I'm kind of borderline on a lot of them fouls he be getting. Like he initiated a lot of the contact.
Hey,
Of course he does.
Hey, Joe, he initiated right with the shoulder, then he threw the head back.
And then he kind of
threw the
flailed.
head
Yeah.
back. That's called great acting. That's great.
Ocho, I'm so sick of looking at that. Ocho, I want to see good
That's
basketball,
good basketball.
It's the same where you don't like watching Shea play
Yeah,
then,
I was
because Shea
gonna
does
say,
the exact same thing.
He do the same thing. But what I'm saying is Indiana is playing great defense. Like he ain't really just beating them like that off the dribble. So they stand with him with the first
Right.
2-3 steps, and then he initiate the contact and flail. And it's like Indiana. I'm like, man, they playing great defense. They getting a bad whistle out here, man. He
Yep.
shot 14 free throws, made 12. He probably should have shot about half of that. Like it was a lot of marginal, calls that I thought that he got tonight. That I was like, man, listen, that's great defense. I think,
Bro, Miles McBride shot as many free throw attempts as the most on the Pacers. Pascal had 5, and Mathurin had 5.
Hey,
Miles McBride had 5 free throw attempts. As you mentioned, Jalen Brunson had 14. Cat had 11.
hey, Indiana ain't studying none of that. They get into that
Hey,
chicken.
they don't care at all, Joe. They don't care at all.
They play.
This was a great game.
It was.
I hope we get something comparable tomorrow in the Western Conference Finals. This is what I want to see because supposedly, allegedly, these are the 4 best teams, Ocho. These are the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference, the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. It shouldn't be that big, that vast of a difference. And we shouldn't see 30 and 40-point victories.
I agree.
I'm not saying that everything should come down to the buzzer, but I'm saying you got to the conference finals and you losing by 30?
Everybody should be equally yoked. Everybody should be equally yoked at this point, especially this far.
We should be 2 evenly matched ball clubs, but this was an unbelievable ball game. The Pacers had 69 points at the half. They got 21 in the third.